Any questions, Ikhwani? From the questions that were given, how do we deal with sihr if we think that someone has performed sihr against us or our family and has caused discord between a husband and his wife? You do what the Prophet did, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that is read the Mu'adhatayn, the two surahs that were read for Salat al-Maghrib today, Surah al-Falaq and Surah al-Nas, when the magic was worked on him by the Yahudi Labid ibn Shu'aib. That particular man, Rasulullah didn't kill him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So some people dispute that the magician should be killed because Rasulullah did not kill the man who made magic on him. But he didn't kill the man for a number of reasons, weighing the masalih and the mafasid. Had he killed the man, it could have been a problem. So he didn't kill the man. Just as he didn't kill the Jewish lady who poisoned him. She tried to kill Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tried to take another life that was haram for her to take, the life of a Nabi, but it was some weighing the good and the evil. So that is not a dalil. When that man put magic on Rasulullah, and the lady who was a magician from the Yahud put magic on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the nafathat and the uqad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the two angels to him and revealed those two ayahs. So reading the Quran, especially the last two surahs of the Quran, reading also the other parts of the Quran. Those of you who go to Umrah and to Mecca for Hajj, there is a type of date that will protect you from a sihr, which is called al-ajwa. Al-ajwa. So instead of spending all of your time in the marketplace, purchase the ajwa date. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man asbaha fa'akala sab'a tamran min al-ajwa la yusibuhu sihran wala sam." Whoever wakes up in the morning and he eats 7 days of al-ajwa that are from Medina, he eats 7 days of al-ajwa every morning, he won't be hit, he won't be afflicted by magic or poison. Magic or poison. Someone may say, what does a date have to do with magic? I don't take that, I don't believe that. Maybe there's some knowledge in there, ikhwan, a treasure that you don't know about yet. From the protections of as-sihr, obviously, are dua, especially for the children, the dua that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to make upon his children or his grandchildren. The next question, ikhwan, is card tricks and similar tricks, magic, should we refrain from them? Yes, we should refrain from them, but the ulama have ikhtilaf in the sleight of hand. There are those ulama who say that it's magic and you should be killed and it's a kabira from the kaba'ir. Others say this is not the magic that is haram where you are killed. It's haram because it's lying, it's iftira, it's playing games. But the trickery of the eye is not considered to be the sihr that the Quran is talking about in the issue that we dealt with today. The magic of Fir'aun's magicians, the sahira of Fir'aun. As Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, Saharu a'yun al-nas wastarhabuhum waja'u bi sihrin azim. Those magicians, they put magic on the eyes of the people and made the people afraid. And they came with a great example of magic. They made the snake look like it was moving, but it was just from the takhayyulat, from the imagination, what appeared like that, but it wasn't real. People can do their finger some way and make it look like he took his finger off. They elevate themselves off of the ground. Those are optic illusions and trickery. That's not the magic that a person is killed for with the majority of the ulama of al-Islam, but it should be avoided in either case. Person here said, how can Harut and Marut teach people what's haram and they are angels? How can Harut and Marut teach people what's haram and they are angels? It's known, ikhwani, that the malaika, as Allah described them in the Quran, la ya'sun Allah ma amarahum wa yaf'aluna ma yu'marun. So this ayah explains the ishkal. The malaika who are over the hellfire and other than them, they do not disobey Allah, and they do what they are ordered to do. They don't disobey Allah. They don't have the propensity and the ability to disobey Allah. There's no ma'asiyah with them. And they do what they are ordered to do. So Allah Azza wa Jal ordered them to go and teach the people magic as a fitna, as an imtihan, an ibtila, as a trial. And before teaching them, they said, as the ayah said, we are fitna to you, so don't disbelieve. That's the first answer, and what seems to be the strongest position. They do what Allah Azza wa Jal ordered them to do. Making sajda to anyone and anything is shirk and haram. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, with قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسِ, they made sajda when Allah ordered them to make sajda. Sajda is haram unless Allah orders you. Killing is haram unless Allah orders you. So we are like the malaika in that issue. You just follow. We hear and we obey. The second issue, ikhwan, and this is important as well, is that some of the ulama don't believe that Harut and Marut taught magic. They believe that Harut and Marut taught the people Tawheed and Al-Iman, and that magic was haram by the text of the ayat itself, and it goes to show the importance of the lugha. وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ وما كفر سليمان ولكن الشياطين كفروا يعلمون الناس السحر وما أنزل على الملكين ببابل هاروت وماروت. So this ma, like la, there are different la's. La tajlis, don't sit down. La ma indi, no, I don't have it. The ma is like that. And they follow what the shayateen were reading during the time of Sulaiman. Sulaiman didn't disbelieve, but the shayateen disbelieved. They taught the people magic. And Harut and Marut did not. No magic was revealed on Harut and Marut. So some of the ulama understand the ayat like that. وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ بِبَابِلْ هَارُوتَ and Marut. And nothing of magic was revealed on these two angels from Allah Ta'ala. But the first position seems to be the strongest position, that they did what Allah Azza wa Jal ordered them to do. What is the general advice for our children reading books and stories of magic, as is the case in many children's books? If they're books that we purchase for them, ikhwani, we shouldn't purchase them for them, and we should teach them that it's not permissible. Some of the most famous books contain magic in them. Jack and the Beanstalk is a book of magic, and a book of dhulm, as we mentioned before. Jack and the Beanstalk. The beans that Jack purchased were magic beans that made the thing grow up, and it went all the way up into the sky where the giant lived up there, and the goose was laying the golden eggs that Jack went up to steal from the goose. And then he ran down and chopped the tree, and then when the giant came down, he fell, and Jack murdered the giant. So obviously, ikhwani, this is stretching the situation. This is stretching it, but that's the story. So instead of preoccupying and busying our children with the stories of khurafat and dhulm and sihr, we sit them down and we explain to them why magic is haram and what is magic. We explain to them that Adam, our father, used to be a giant, and that the people of Thamud used to be giants, and they used to do this, and so forth and so on. We teach them the religion. Killing is haram, stealing is haram. Why did Jack try to turn the corner? But we make sure that we teach them these stories are not true, they're from khurafat, and al-Islam is better. أَتَسْتَبْدِلُونَ الَّذِي هُوَ أَدْنَى بِالَّذِي هُوَ خَيْرٌ. Will we take what is worse? Will we change what's better for what is worse, as the Yahud wanted to do in so many times in the Quran? The last question, ikhwan, and issue is the story I have heard that Imam al-Thahabi warned against and spoke against Imam Ibn Taymiyyah. Is this true? This is a lie that was presented by a number of the people who were enemies to Ibn Taymiyyah recently and in the past. One famous Imam who was a scholar of this deen from the Shafi'i madhab, who used to get Ibn Taymiyyah arrested a lot. He was the main judge in their area. Al-Imam al-Subki, who wrote the famous book Tabaqat al-Shafi'iyya, tremendous scholar in al-Islam, bona fide scholar in al-Islam. But he had some issues. He had personal problems with al-Imam Ibn Taymiyyah. So if they can have problems, why can't people today have problems? From the ulama. They have problems between themselves. And it's not permissible for you and I to make wala and bara on the problems that are clearly personal between scholars. So Al-Imam As-Subki, Al-Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, when he said that the 3 divorces, your divorce, your divorce, your divorce, in one setting, he said, no, if someone divorces his wife like that, it only counts as one, as it used to be during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then during the time of Abu Bakr, and then during the time of Umar radiallahu anhu, the people did it a lot. So Umar, being the Khalifa, he said, if you people do this, it's going to count as 3. Because the people became lackadaisical, and they became too easy with this. When Al-Imam As-Subki heard this fatwa of Ibn Taymiyyah, he arrested him. Had him arrested and put him in prison. Got out of the prison. So the troublemakers asked Ibn Taymiyyah some more questions. Is it permissible for a person to leave Britain, to ride his horse, to ride a plane, and to go to Bayt al-Maqdis to visit the grave of Al-Khalil, Ibrahim Khalilullah, or to go to the grave of Rasulullah, and his niyat is to visit the grave? He said it's not permissible. You can't travel to any grave. You only can travel to the 3 masajid. Put him in prison, locked him up again. So Al-Imam As-Subki, rahimahullahu ta'ala wa afallahu anna wa anhu, he was the one who wrote this thing and attributed that Al-Imam Ibn Qayyim had a problem with his Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah. But that doesn't mean, ikhwani, that Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyya rahimahullahu ta'ala did not refute Ibn Taymiyyah. He would refute his Shaykh. And he had a famous statement that we should memorize and we should say. And he said, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, Habibuna wal haqqu ahabbu ilayna. Anytime he wrote a book and he wanted to put his point that was different from his Shaykh, he would say, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah is our Habib. We love him. But the haqq, Allah al-haqq, or the haqq itself, is more beloved to us than he is. And then he would go and make his point and refute the point of his Shaykh, rahimahumullahu ta'ala. And that was the tarbiyah of Ibn Taymiyyah to all of his students. And then after Ibn Qayyim, his students dealt with him like that. Al-Thahabi dealt with him like that, and everyone dealt with him like that. So as it relates to this issue of Al-Imam Al-Thahabi and Al-Imam Ibn Taymiyyah criticizing each other and making these statements, it is not true. The last thing that I want to make about this point, I don't know if it was in this masjid, but it seems to be quite recent. Could have been in London over the weekend. Someone said, the question was asked in London, in the Masjid al-Huda in Whitechapel, our Somalian community. Someone wrote a question and said, is it true that Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullahu ta'ala established body parts to Allah Azza wa Jal, everything except the private part? Because I heard that that's what people are saying, that he had Allah. Ibn Taymiyyah believed that Allah was everything that a human being is except the private part. Well, if he's going to establish all of that, now why not establish the private part as well? It's kadhib, it's a lie. A lie that's made up by people who, subhanallah, they don't like the pure tawheed and the pure aqidah, so they're against his people. This is the last question, inshallah.
There's something very close, hasad. A lot of people put blue eye or blue stone in their cars or in their homes to prevent hasad.
The blue eye?
Blue eye or blue stone.
Some people put the blue eye or the blue stone in their cars and their windows and their homes to protect from the evil eye. And we don't know anything that is authentic from the sunnah that has this type of instruction being given to us. The evil eye is true, as the Prophet told us, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, al-ainu haqq. The evil eye is true. But the way we ward off the evil eye is holding on to our deen, and if someone is afflicted with it, he goes and asks that individual to take a shower, and he takes from that water and he bathes in the water that the person who he thinks or believes gave him the evil eye. Another point, ikhwan, is we reject the statement that some of the people say that have good intentions. When they want to encourage us to hold on to our religion, they say magic can only affect the individual who has weak iman. He doesn't pray, he doesn't fast, doesn't wear the hijab, not holding on to the religion. No, that is not a true statement. Ala itlaqi. It's not true just like that. If anyone can be affected, it's definitely the one who is da'if in his iman, for sure. But magic and the evil eye can afflict the person who is the imam of the muttaqeen, like it happened with our Prophet and our Messenger sallallahu alaihi wa ala alihi wasallam. But the stronger the person's iman is, and the stronger his tawakkul is, and the stronger his yaqeen billah is, then obviously the less he's going to open the door for shaitan to preoccupy him. So what is the hikmah that Allah Azza wa Jal allowed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be hit and afflicted with a sihr? One of the clear hikmahs is so that we'll know what to do if it happens to us. Another of the clear hikmah is to prove, ikhwani, Rasulullah is not from the nur of Allah. Rasulullah is a bashar. Can Allah Azza wa Jal become mashur? Can Allah Ta'ala have magic worked on him? This is from the clearest adillah and proofs for us to hold on to worshiping Allah and using Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as the vehicle that showed us how to worship Allah. The nur of Allah cannot become mashur. And also from the wisdom of that is that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the more ibtila you have in this dunya, the higher your place is going to be. So his ibtila was shadid, to the point that when he was mashur, when he had the magic worked on him, he would prepare to make a ghusl. And our mother Aisha radiallahu anha would say, "Where are you going, ya Rasulullah?" He said, "I'm going to make ghusl because we have relationships." She said, "We didn't have relationships." He thought he had relationships and he didn't have relationships. It was to that level and that degree. The last thing about magic, ikhwani, every nosebleed doesn't mean you have magic on you. Every headache doesn't mean you have magic on you. That's how some of us are. We have mental problems. We have those who make wudu with waswas. He keeps making wudu. Then we have the people who are paranoid. He's giving me the evil eye. She put the magic on me. No, I'm not going to visit them and I'll break the ties of relation because they put the magic. The child died. They put the magic on me. Now this is not from the religion of Al-Islam. There are ways to know that people have put magic on you, and there are ways to know that you are not a person who has magic, but instead you have a chemical imbalance and you need some medical treatment. You need to go see professional people. So you have to determine when and how that is. And there are people who know how to do that, ikhwan. Stay away from the peer who has khurafat. The peer who has khurafat, you want to go and he writes you a potion and he burns it and you drink it. You go and she says, "I have headaches, I have bad headaches." So the peer tells the people, paint the room all red, get a red blanket on the bed, make the carpet red, paint the door red, the pillow red, and then it's going to go away. What is that, akhi? The same people who tell us, "I don't believe the people can go to the moon." If they did go to the moon, let them go to the moon on the first day when the moon is small. They can't step on the moon, they'll fall off. That's how people are, akhi. Don't take your religion from those people, ikhwani. So we're going to stop here, inshallah. سائلين الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يوفقنا وإياكم لما يحب ويرضى. هذا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين.